I see Justin asked, which type do I prefer to do, new state gun or bow? I started with a rifle just because there was enough going and doing elk hunting. At least there was enough new things to me, being a purely whitetail hunter at that point. Um, backcountry hunting, carrying camp on your back, eating freeze dried meals every day, and having a new stove system. There's learning new territory, a new species, how to hunt, how to call. I thought there's enough going on. I don't want to complicate it even more by taking my bow and having to call and stuff like that. So I chose rifle just because it's more in line with kind of rifle hunting whitetail, compared to going out with your bow and calling elk in, and bugling and things like that. Now, I will say I am going next year to Colorado, and I'm going for archery. So um, I probably, I had plans of going last year, but I've had some kids and I've been going to Illinois to hunt whitetail, so I just can't do it all at one time. But that's why there's been a little delay for me. But I'm not saying you can't do it, but there's pros and cons to each. I will say one pro for, at least for elk, going early season, is the weather is a lot less harsh. So, maybe a more comfortable hunt. My first hunt, I was camping above 10,000 feet in a tent on the ground at below zero. And to be honest, it totally whipped my butt. And I was not prepared for it. And I learned a lot the hard way that first year. So there's pros or cons. I wouldn't say, I mean, it's whatever you want to do, really. But I see Drew ask about, when hunting out of state, how does one go about process meat and bring back a trophy animal? Well, for one, I wouldn't necessarily set your sights on a trophy animal first time out of state. A legal animal is a trophy when you're taking on a new endeavor like that, in my opinion. So, but it is hard. You can't necessarily put an elk head in a cooler and bring it back. I bought a huge, I think it was Arctic cooler that you can fit an elk in. I didn't go to a processor, but if you're doing it DIY, you can look up processors that are out there and get your meat taken care of, so where it's packaged and you put it in a cooler and keep it on ice. Or, I mean, when I brought an elk back, I just corded it up. I had it in game bags and I kept it on ice the whole time until I got back here in West Virginia, and then processed it just like I would a whitetail. In terms of if you're going with an outfitter or a drop camp or something, they usually have some sort of processor that they use, or even a taxidermist that they use if you did want to get them out. But I would say you approach it just like you would anywhere else. You just got to call around and figure it out. The one hard part is if you do find a taxidermist, you're gonna have to go get that trophy somehow. So something to consider. If you're going out every year, maybe you drop it off at the taxidermist when you're done your hunt that year. It stays there. When you go out to hunt the next year, you pick it back up as a finished product. Torn asks, how much gear did